Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sybil. Hey, great girlfriends. Happy Friday. I know, I'm sneaking all up in your ear on a random day of the week. Why? Because I felt led to drop this episode that's been sitting with me for some time. So, this one is coming your way on a Friday, and I hope you're enjoying your afternoon. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I hope you're filled with love of the season because it is Valentine's Day weekend. So, quick question for you. How are you celebrating Valentine's Day? Are you doing a Galentine's Day? Are you doing nothing? Are you having a very romantic weekend with your loved one? I would love to know. Do me a favor, shoot some ideas over to welcome@thegreatgirlfriends.com and just let me know and let our community, our team know how you're celebrating your Valentine's Day weekend. And for those of you who are not in the mood, don't feel pressured to be in the mood. Listen, every holiday is not your holiday. I realize St. Patrick's Day, I'm chilling. President's Day, I'm chilling. There's some days that I'm literally chilling. I do not feel compelled to participate in every single activity that comes up on the calendar, even the school calendar, even the family calendar. So I'm saying that to set somebody free. Somebody needs to be reminded right now that you don't have to be everywhere doing everything just because they sell it to us. So having said that, I hope you now have another weekend plan. Maybe you're planning some self-care this weekend instead of opting into, sadness if you're not with a Valentine and all the pressure to spend if you do have a Valentine. All right. Said all that to say, be you, do you, feel good about you. All right. So this week, or today rather, I'm doing something a little different. I receive all of these amazing DMs and amazing emails from great girlfriends all around the country and even around the world, outside of the U.S., who have questions. And these questions will come anonymously, or the person will write and say, I ask that you keep this confidential because I don't want, people in my life to know that it was me that asked this question. But people are just really trying to decode a lot of things. And I get it. Sometimes you want to just go somewhere, ask a question, drop it, get a response, and not feel tied to it and not feel like you're going to be judged. Well, that's what the Great Girlfriend community is all about. This is that safe space where your questions are welcome. There is no right or wrong answer. Well, let me rephrase that because there are some right ways to treat people, and I want to make that clear. But you can ask anything and feel safe to ask it and not feel embarrassed by not knowing. And that's most important. So we're doing this new Ask Anything segment, and from time to time, you're going to hear me bring on other great girlfriends to kind of give their feedback on some of these questions because I love to have varying perspectives. But most of these questions have come to me, and I've answered them privately, and I've come back to them because I feel like I'm seeing them happen at a high frequency, which means they need to be answered publicly, community-wide solutions. And these are conversations that you're welcome to have in your own circles and bring the conversation back to the Great Girlfriend Circle in our Facebook group. So if you're not a member of the Facebook group, I need you in there. Go over to facebook.com, look up the Great Girlfriends, and our group should come up at the top. There's 21,000 women in that group, all beautiful women from different walks of life who are there to help support and share feedback and give you resources and make you feel connected and loved and all that fancy stuff. So I'm saying that to say, make sure you join the group. And that's a great place where you can add your questions and you can share your feedback and you can help another woman out as well. I also want you to head over to Instagram at The Great Girlfriends and make sure you're following. We are giving away a self-love kit. Yes! I'm so excited. So I know I told you a few weeks back, maybe actually a month back, that we did self-love kits and that they are going to be live on our store coming very soon. Well, we're actually giving some away in advance of the store launching. With that being said, you're welcome to enter the contest to win. It's so simple. You go, you tag your great girlfriends in the comments, and the one to do the most tagging is the one that will receive that self-love kit. And make sure you're following the Great Girlfriends on Instagram because that's where all the updates come regarding the winner. And if that's you, go girl. I'm happy for you because you're going to love the kit. There are some goodies in there. They are curated, custom great girlfriend goodies, and they are put in place to help you affirm yourself, to set the moment, the mood where you want to dive into self-love and give yourself the affirmations you need and just give yourself a big old hug. So, now that I've said that, what's my other announcement? Oh. Are you a part of the bond? Now, I've mentioned the bond before, but I wanted to come back to it again. The bond is our private growth circle for women. This community is a separate community where we are learning, growing, connecting, igniting. We are celebrating one another and we're getting expert advice and we're building businesses and we're setting accountability for the entire year. I love the bond because it's a sharpening community. It's like the place where you go where you really want to get a gut punch and a hug all at once, right? Because the women in the bond are ready to help straighten you up, they're ready to love on you, and they're ready to be accountable to the highest potential of who you are. So, if you want to be a member of the bond, I want to have you in the community. Go to bit.ly/the bond circle and register today. I'm telling you, there's so much transformation happening in that community, and you can have it for yourself. You can be a part of it. You can support it. You can feel the movement. So, yes, we got all that community happening. We got all the content happening. I hope you've been listening. Oh my goodness, tens upon tens upon tens upon thousands of women around the world are listening to the podcast each week. So I want to say thank you to every single great girlfriend who shows up and listens faithfully and shares this podcast with a friend. You know, that's how we get the word out. That's how we keep our numbers high. That's how we make sure the world knows how great this podcast is. So thank you so very much for showing up for the show and making sure that you listen each week and giving your feedback on all the different episodes that you've heard and things that you want to hear and guests you'd like to have, all that stuff. We want to hear all of that. Back to this week's episode of Ask Anything. This is a DM that I received recently, and I've already responded to this person, but she said it was okay if I bring this episode or bring her DM, to an episode of the podcast. So I want to thank you, Corinne, out of Houston, for giving me permission to share this one live. So Corinne's question was this, or statement was this: I just recently ended a 10-year friendship with someone because she got angry with me after I couldn't attend her many events this past year due to COVID and my life responsibilities. She called me unsupportive, and I called her insensitive. She then told me that I always put other people and things before her, and I explained to her that we should have ended our friendship years ago if she felt that way. I haven't spoken to her since that conversation, and she doesn't respond to me on social media. How do I get closure in this scenario? Thanks, Corinne out of Houston. Oh, Corinne out of Houston and any other great girlfriend that's dealing with a relationship where people don't agree on how the other person should be treated. Girl, okay. So first of all, there's so much to be celebrated in having a 10-year friendship with someone. You know, I never want to throw all of that stuff away when there's a mishap or there's anger or there's a confrontation that needs to happen. So first, I want to start by celebrating the 10 years of great girlfriendship that you shared with this person, Corinne, and for any other person that's been through this. Don't throw it all away. There were so many good moments, experiences, memories, and so much love that was shared over 10 years. So I wouldn't throw all of that away with this scenario. Now, I do believe that certain people deserve a certain amount of proximity. And I'm saying that to say that someone could have been close to you for 10 years, really, really close, and deserved that space because they were there to support you. You were there to support them. There was mutual growth and connection. There was mutual accountability. The relationship was thriving, and it felt like the right place to position a person. And in that case, they deserve that proximity. You deserve that proximity, and all is well. But there comes time in a relationship where you do realize that you have to adjust the amount of space or access that a person has to you. And it's for their good and it's for your good. A lot of times we take those years and we take that history And we stack all that to say this person will always be in my ace spot forever. And that is not always the case, because what you'll realize is as the world turns and as you grow and evolve and as they grow and evolve, your needs and demands and requirements become different. And it is okay to expect more, to require different things, to need more out of relationships, and to adjust the proximity as needed. It's also okay to adjust the proximity when you realize that you and a person do not agree on how you should be treated. I've had that scenario. And in that scenario, it was for me, it was a couple years ago where I had a great friend and we've been really, really intimate for a long time. But we got to a point in our lives where she felt that I needed to be treated in a way that I didn't agree with. And and I was okay with saying to her, you and I do not agree on how I should be treated in this scenario. And for that reason, I'm going to give you the space that you need to come to your own realizations about how I deserve to be treated in a friendship. I gave her the space, she took the space, and we're better because of that. And that was the closure that we needed. The closure that we needed was me setting the right boundaries for the right season. You have got to be willing, Corinne, and every other great girlfriend, to set the boundaries that are needed for the season. You have to be willing to set the standards that are needed to show people who you are and how you deserve to be treated. No one is going to stand up for that standard more than you. And though we have people in our life who love and respect us and who see us and who want to acknowledge us and who always want to be in place for us, they can never set the standards that we are meant to set for ourselves. And they can never protect and ensure that those standards are always adhered to. It is our responsibility to do that. So in this scenario, I absolutely love that you explained to her that, you felt like you needed to support yourself when you said that she was being insensitive. She was insensitive to the fact that COVID was taking place in 2020. So come on, who was attending events like that, right? I think that's fair to say, well, you know what? Because of your COVID concerns, you didn't feel comfortable going to events. That's okay. That's your standard. And you having life responsibilities that were more important than going to some of her events, that's your standard and that's okay. Now, in her book, she felt like you compromised her expectations, and that's okay too. The thing that I'm getting to is it's okay to agree to disagree and to create enough distance so that everyone's standards can be respected. Corinne, you get to do what you want to do, how you get to do it. And your friend gets to have the type of people that she needs in her inner circle without feeling like she's not being supported. Now, the thing that you said that I would really, really challenge, where you said, you explained to her that we should have ended our friendship years ago if she felt that way. It's possible that, she said you put other people and things before her, and that could very well be true, and that's okay. It's okay that you have family, that you have needs that you put in position, and it's okay to explain that to a person and they respect that. It doesn't mean that you should have ended a friendship years ago because a person feels that way. It just means that people have to get information. And I'm saying that to say people in our life, I won't say trained because you guys are going to be like, ew, trained is such a harsh word. But you have to teach people how to treat you, and you have to teach people how to relate to you. And you do that by positioning people in the right place and time. And they then begin to understand the role and responsibility that they can play in your life. And I think it's so important to do that because then there's no misunderstanding. There's always clarity, and people can always know the marching orders. And when you give people a playbook, they can operate by the playbook, right? So going back to this, I haven't spoken to her since that conversation, and she doesn't respond to me on social media. She's telling you she needs space. How do you get closure in this scenario? You give her the space that she needs, you respect her boundaries, and you create your own proximity, your own rules, or your own way of conditioning your inner circle. That's what I think you should do. You already said in line 1 that you ended this 10-year friendship. Well, if you've ended this 10-year friendship, the hardest part about ending a friendship is walking away. But when you walk away, take all the good. Take all the great stuff that happened in the 10 years, take all the loving moments, take all the memories, take all the road trips, take all the laughter, take all the support, take all of that stuff and see all the beautiful times that she was there for you and love her. Love her like you've always loved her, but give her the space that she needs. Because healing takes time and it takes space sometimes. And I think it's okay to allow people to go through their own, way of healing and come back to you when she's ready to have a healthy conversation. And when she's ready to have a healthy conversation and you feel ready to have a healthy conversation, then you do that. If you're not ready and she's not ready and you feel the conversation is going to go south and it's not going to look anything like the loving humans that you both are, then you take more time and space because you never want to compromise your character due to a circumstance. You always want to use those opportunities for your character to shine through. But if you're not ready to shine through and be the superhuman that you are, give it space. Give it space and time because it's very, very important that you never lose the value of the 10 years, but that you are able to work through the fragments and see if there's an opportunity. If there is an opportunity for you all to move forward and have mutual respect and like each other's pictures on Facebook or Instagram and comment and hang out together and possibly do a brunch lunch, maybe a road trip one day, maybe even, do baby showers again or whatever those deep moments are, then you have that. So just because something closed today doesn't mean that it's ended forever. And I have living proof of friendships that have been reconciled after years of fragmentation because when the time was right, two mutually mature parties come to the table and have the responsible conversations and do the healthy thing that they need to do to love and protect each other from the hurt. So that's real great girlfriend behavior. And I hope, Corinne, and any other person that's listening, you understand what's so important here. When two people don't agree on how the other person should be treated, meaning you don't agree on how I should be treated, I don't agree how you should be treated, it is okay for you to decide to give space in a relationship. And you stand up for who you are and what you know you deserve, and the other person has to stand up for who they are. And if you ever cross paths again, you let your character shine through, you have healthy conversation if it's possible, and if it's not possible, you keep marching forward in separate spaces because you never want to compromise your character over the hurt and the fragments. The other thing that I think is so important is that you never, never, never forsake the fact that the 10 years were good 10 years. You had so much value there. So it's okay to take all the healthy and happy and the good and to learn from the other stuff. The stuff that you don't want to carry forward, you learn from it, you take the lessons, and you move along. That way, when you're creating new relationships, you already have in your hand a playbook and you're able to teach people how they should treat you. And you do that by treating them with the respect that you would want to receive. All right. Said all that to say, love your neighbor as you love yourself. That's my command. And that's that's how I keep my relationship sound. And that's how I do my best to make sure I'm doing the best for me and I'm doing the best for other people. You don't always get it perfect. And when you don't get it perfect, it's okay to go back and say, hey, I made a mistake. Right? That's okay too, to be honest and say, you know what? I could have done better in that scenario and I apologize. And it's up to the other person to decide if they accept your apology. You don't have to pressure them into it. It's in their heart and hand to decide if they want to receive it. And if they want to receive it, cool. Then you go have ice cream and walk in the park. If they don't want to receive it, there you go. You go create the space that you need and you move forward. But the one thing you don't want to do is sit in a spot of unforgiveness that leaves you feeling like a victim when you had choices that you could have made that would have empowered you to live, do, be, feel better. All right. That's it for today, great girlfriends. I just wanted to give you this little tidbit on a Friday. This new segment is going to be coming at high frequency because I want to make sure if one great girlfriend needs it, another great girlfriend has access to it, and that we get to go out and be the supercharged women that we have always been destined to be. So if you have a question that you want to present on the podcast, or if you want to ask your question on the podcast, I would love to have you on board. You can email welcome@thegreatgirlfriends.com And together, you and I can work through the kinks of whatever your question is and, teach someone else along the way. Sound good? All right. Love you, great girlfriends. Have a beautiful day. Great girlfriends, did you enjoy this week's episode of the podcast? If so, would you please give us your amazing review on iTunes? Every single review helps another great girlfriend get plugged into the podcast, into the community. Speaking of community, make sure you join our Facebook group, The Great Girlfriends. You follow us on Instagram at The Great Girlfriends and on Twitter at @the_great_GFS. Last but not least, we'd like to thank my amazing husband, Kwaku, Sam and Dilly, and all of you for being a part of the global community that makes us so strong. Please remember to share with your friends. Keep listening and keep being a great girlfriend. I'm Sybil Amuti, and I'm out. Peace.